Another thing that seems to be different as well is that you are in a constant creative process. You always write. Why is that?
Well, it would be wrong to think that I'm going into this office and, you know, it's just, you know, I'm just writing away and away and all this stuff is coming, because it's not like that. There's very grim periods at time when nothing really comes, and times where a lot comes, and times when I get really on a roll and stuff, you know, which is a self-perpetuating thing. Once that kind of starts, I find, I think you get this confidence in what you're doing, and it's like all those voices in your head that keep saying, you know, you're shit and it's no good and this is no good, they seem to kind of go away, and you just sort of you get on a roll, and that's fantastic when that happens. But a lot of the time it's not, you know, a lot of the time it's kind of, you know, dead time really. But I just go every day anyway, because I don't really trust the process of it's just too slow to sit around and kind of go about your business and, you know, wait for inspiration to kind of, you know, give you something.
But there are also always this rockish tradition of you have now I shall start to write a new album. Is that something that you're trying to avoid, to have that whole process of starting?
Yeah, because starting is really difficult. The thing that I hate most about doing interviews, and especially when I have to do weeks of interviews, this becomes this kind of time when I have to be taken away from the office, and it's always after an album. So you do the album. I mean, with this Nocturama, I did the album, and the next day I was in there starting on the next one, and I made a conscious decision not to take off any time, just to keep going. But inevitably you're pulled out of that situation by having to talk about the last record, and then you go back in again, and it's like you suddenly sit there and think, right, fuck, I've got to start all over again. You know, I've got to actually start again. Whereas before it felt like it was just a continuation, and you have to get that ball rolling again, and that can be quite, you know, it's frustrating, you know, and it's. Maybe it's a necessary time, you know, maybe it's these dead periods are necessary periods. They're just not very enjoyable, you know.
Frustrating.
Yeah, they're like, you know, you sit there for 9 hours and you come home and you realise you've basically done nothing, you know, and all the stuff you've done is kind of, you know, so.
It seems like you have discovered several things about your own writing over the years. Have you also discovered how this creative flow works when it comes to you? Like you say, it's a fantastic feeling.
Well, it's kind of like what I said. It's getting rid of these. Yeah. I mean, basically, I can look at the whole idea of making a new record or going in and writing a new record in two different ways. I can look at it with a real sense of panic and fear, which I often do. You know, I lie there and think, fuck, I've got to write a new record, and what am I going to write it about, and is it going to be as good as the last one? You know, am I on my way down? All of these kind of thoughts are in my head, and I go into the office with these thoughts, and you're just kind of sitting there, and you start to write something, and it's like, you know, it's not that good, and it gets like that. But other times I have learned to be able to switch that to it doesn't really matter, and that all you can do is fail, and that isn't that bad anyway. The greatest artists have failed constantly. Well, my heroes have had abysmal periods in their careers, and it just doesn't matter that much, and you can approach the whole thing with a sense of humour and a sense of play, if you like, to use a kind of 21st century expression, and you know, just carry on. And that's, if you can flip that over, that's for me, that's the secret for me.
It seemed like you did so with Nocturama. I mean, it wasn't there's a slight several differences between the recording of the previous album and the new one, by the way you did it.
Yeah, well, it was written faster and was recorded quicker, and the songs were the arrangements of the songs. I mean, I just went in with the basic chords, basic melody, basic lyrics, and took it from there, which gave the band a lot more freedom to do whatever they wanted to do. And in that respect, I think the record is probably a better record because of that, you know.
It was very like instant.
Than the last one, I mean.
Yeah. And you didn't go into the studio with already pre-arranged stuff, and...
Well, it wasn't as highly arranged as the last record, where I had, it was like, well, I want backing vocals in this bit, and I sing this bit, and I want, strings to come in here, and I had all these sort of arrangement ideas in my head when I took that record in. So it's like, and I want kind of guitar around here, and it's kind of restrictive in a way for the other musicians. And this way it was just like, well, this is the song, it goes like this, and you can do what you like,
What, was it for the first time you did so for a long time?
Have we finished? Are we?
I know, just go for a wide shot.
Oh, right. Well, all the records are very different in the way. Sometimes, on some records I went in with basically nothing. It was just this time to make the record, and I'm like, shit, I haven't done anything, and I've just got a few words and 2 songs or something like that, and we've had to kind of create the songs in the studio, which is a way that I don't particularly like working in that way.